Hey guys, Taylor here, and today I'm bringing you a Cyberpunk video. Now this is a game I've been super excited for a long time, ever since I heard of its announcement way back in 2013. Large, open world, RPG first, FPS second, what more is there for you to want? But before I do get into this video, I do want to bring to your attention that we are still hosting a giveaway for a console of your choice, whether that's an Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4 Pro, or a Nintendo Switch. Simply follow the link down in the description to enter. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's talk just over 30 facts or things that we'll be getting with Cyberpunk 2077. So let's get straight into it and start at number 1. Now pretty much everyone's going to know this, but Cyberpunk 2077 is being produced and developed by Projekt Red, and of course that's the studio that made The Witcher 3, and of course The Witcher 3 went on to win 2015's Game of the Year award, so we know that Cyberpunk is in safe hands. It's currently set to release on all current generation platforms, so that being the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, but it does also look like it's going to be releasing on the Xbox One as well as the PlayStation 4. But again, that doesn't mean it's going to be limited to those consoles, and who knows, it might be releasing on next gen, although we have no news regarding that. Now from that hour-long gameplay back at the beginning of last year, the first thing we all noticed was that it's a first-person shooter. But before that comes the RPG elements to this game, and that's what they want to stress, is that it's an RPG before it's an FPS. Now with any open world RPG game, everyone wants to know where it's set and what we're going to be exploring, and that's no different for Cyberpunk. In this game we're going to be exploring a city called Night City, and this is based in Northern California, and it will have some recognizable areas, although they're not going to be identical, because remember this game is set quite a distance in the future. But we all love a city with recognizable landmarks. I think it's great there are going to be a few within Cyberpunk. Now whilst you are exploring Night City, you're not going to be experiencing loading screens. As you drive around or even walk around Night City, there's going to be no loading screens to stop you and really cut up that immersion you're feeling. With every RPG game comes a great character customization, or at least you'd hope so. Cyberpunk 2077 is certainly no different. We'll have a deep character customization. We're going to be able to set the backstory for our characters and even the scars on our character's face. That's going to be a lot to choose from, and I for one am probably going to spend a good hour within this character customization, and I know a lot of you will spend even more time than that. But as you play through Cyberpunk, you're going to be able to continually upgrade your character. There's going to be many vendors for you to visit, and these vendors can be selling pretty much anything from energy bars all the way up to high-end weapons. But that's not the only way to upgrade your character. There's going to be many skills for you to upgrade, buy and unlock as you play through. As well as skills, there's going to be a lot of perks, and on top of that there's a fluid class system as well, where you're going to be able to switch between skill trees and really adapt your character to the playstyle you want to take on within this living, breathing world. Since Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG, clothing won't be just granting us things like armor attributes. It's going to give us other buffs. For example, increasing street cred by 5%. The more street cred you have, the more vendors and side missions you're going to unlock throughout Night City. Although the character is a big focal point of this game, weapons is going to be a pretty big focal point too. And along with weapons comes deep weapon customization. You can make the weapon suit exactly how you want to play. And there's going to be hundreds of options of weapons, as well as combinations of weapons for you to find and try within Night City. On the weapons you're roaming around with, there's going to be multiple fire options, from single, full auto, or even burst. Obviously that depends on the weapon, so don't expect to be firing a sniper rifle at fully automatic. By the looks of things, you're going to be able to carry 4 weapons around with you. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to carry 4 assault rifles or similar. It's probably more likely going to be something like a sidearm and a few primary weapons. Now, of course, weapons aren't going to be the only thing to take down your enemies. You're also going to be able to use melee takedowns, as well as the option of using cyber tech, which is going to get pretty interesting and could cause for some messy fights. Can't quite find what you're looking for? Well, have no fear, crafting is in Cyberpunk 2077. At the time of making this video, we have no idea what crafting is going to involve, but from other RPGs we know that crafting can be a very valuable asset of obtaining the items you want. So we can only assume it's going to be similar to that. And the crafting option was actually pointed out when the inventory screen was pulled up during some gameplay. Now, I have no idea how to link the next fact I'm going to talk about with the previous one, so let's just get straight into it. Within Cyberpunk 2077, we're going to be able to partake and participate in either long-term or short-term romantic relationships. I know it's a bit of a weird one to point out, but I guess after seeing that gameplay, we kind of had to talk about it. Now, choices are a big thing within any RPG, and again, that's no different to Cyberpunk. Any choice you make is going to either have a negative or a positive impact on the story down the line. And that can range from what you think might be the smallest of things. It could turn out to have a butterfly effect and completely change the way the game plays out for you in the end. Now, if you're like me, you're going to play through this multiple times and go through as many options as possible. Now, I've only talked a little bit about the area you're going to be able to explore, or the world of Cyberpunk 2077, and that being Night City. Now, the name being quite fitting, there's going to be a day and night cycle. And with there being a day and night cycle, the city will act completely different during the daytime as well as the nighttime. At nighttime, you're going to want to be a little bit more careful around the dodgy alleyways because there could be some serious crime going down and you don't want to get caught up within it. So some missions or side missions might be best off doing during the day. Talking of Night City, it never actually sleeps. There's always going to be something for you to do. And whilst you are exploring the city, there's going to be some world encounters for you to participate in or simply avoid. It really depends on how you're feeling and how busy your schedule is for that day. Although the city is huge horizontally, vertical is even bigger. There's going to be huge high rises with multiple floors for you to explore that hold some of the coolest secrets of Night City. And honestly, the first scene we saw of that gameplay that I've mentioned a couple of times now, you get welcomed by this huge building that you're currently living in, and by being first person you really get to admire the detail and how huge it actually is. Now, as you notice then, I said that you're currently living in, so yes, you're going to be able to buy multiple and different apartments or houses to move around in. But of course, if you're happy living in a small flat with a lot of rubbish laying around, then be my guest and stay in that flat. But we're not too sure on what options we're going to have, so that's just something unfortunately we're going to have to wait to hear more about. As I was scouring through the gameplay, there was one cool detail that I actually noticed, and not many others have seemed to pick this up, but it looks like there's going to be micro-destruction within the game. Now, micro-destruction is how the environment reacts to damage it's dealt. So, for example, being shot behind cover, the bullets are going to gradually chip away at that cover. You saw this in one of the final fight scenes, and I love these types of details because it really does add to that immersion. And talking of environment, how are you expected to traverse this huge open world? Well, there's going to be drivable vehicles, cars, bikes, you name it, you're pretty much going to be able to take control of it. And whilst you are in vehicles of all kinds, there is going to be the option to change view, so you can go third person or first person, whatever your preference is when you're inside a vehicle. There's going to be so much to do in Cyberpunk, you're just simply not going to be able to take all of that information in. With the hundreds of items, hundreds of weapons, even the hundreds of vehicles and characters, you're going to need something to go back to refresh your memory, and that's where the in-depth codex comes in. This is going to have details on almost anything and everything within Cyberpunk 2077. Now, taking screenshots within the games you love has been pretty much the fashion as of late, and Cyberpunk definitely want to encourage that, and by doing so, there'll be a photo mode included within the game. And talking about included in the game, you're not going to have to buy anything extra. That's right, there's going to be no microtransactions within Cyberpunk. And last but not least, I'm here to answer the all-important question: is there going to be a Battle Royale mode for Cyberpunk 2077? Why am I answering this? No, of course not.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.